Oh, so we're back for the second video in our Joseph Murphy SP course. If you're new to this channel, I have to make videos in my car and on my phone, including this video, which is not in my car, but is in my office. We like to keep it informal here, informal and informative. So yeah, if you missed the first video, I'm going to put a link below in the description to the entire playlist for this course. I suggest you start at the beginning, but we are reading from The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, that law of assumption, law of attraction, law of mind masterpiece from around 1960. And we're reading the chapter, Your Subconscious Mind and Marital Problems. So let's move on to the next part of this chapter, where Joseph Murphy, or as we like to call him, Joey, talks about the meaning of marriage. Murphy writes, marriage to be real must first be on a spiritual basis. It must be of the heart, and the heart is the chalice of love. Honesty, sincerity, kindness, and integrity are also forms of love. Each partner should be perfectly honest and sincere with the other. It is not a true marriage when a man marries a woman for her money, social position, or to lift his ego, because this indicates a lack of sincerity, honesty, and true love. Such a marriage is a farce, a sham, and a masquerade. Heck of a paragraph from Joey Murph there. And there's a lot to take in, okay? What we find with so much of this manifest your specific person advice and nonsense is a lack of clarity about what is truly important for a loving, harmonious relationship, whether it be romantic or otherwise. Now, if you are serious about meeting somebody and marrying them potentially, then you are going to want to view that person and what you want with great integrity and sincerity. Murphy says something very interesting here. He says honesty, sincerity, kindness, and integrity are also forms of love. You know, Marvin and I speak to a lot of people with SP issues, and we sometimes hear, you know, we ask clients or people that we're giving a free consultation to, you know, do you love this person? Do you love this guy? Do you love this gal? And usually they'll say yes. But then you keep on asking questions, and you wonder, do you really love them? Do you really love them? Because this person that you're trying to manifest back into your life deserves that honesty, that sincerity, that kindness and integrity, as do you. And often when people have SP issues, they either are not providing their partner or their, you know, desired partner with that honesty and integrity and sincerity and kindness. Or just as common for a lot of people in this community, when they get serious about this stuff, if they really start looking at themselves, they very often realize, I might be trying to provide those loving qualities to my partner and doing my best. But when I look at it with more sobriety, and again, this is where coaching can help. When I look at it with more sobriety, I realize I am not actually providing honesty, sincerity, kindness, and integrity to myself in terms of this relationship, perhaps, or just in terms of my whole life. So this is very important if we're doing genuine SP work And if we're going to recognize, as I always say, that the true specific person or special person that we need to manifest is not anybody out there, but ourselves, that we are the real SP, that you are the real SP, we have to recognize and come from this place within of honesty, of sincerity, of kindness, and integrity. Because they are all forms of love. And if we are going to have a mature romantic relationship, and it's not just going to be a summertime fling or a quick hookup or whatever, but a mature, loving relationship that we want to last, it is pretty much essential that these type of qualities are there. Murphy goes on to say, when a woman says, I am tired working, I want to get married because I want security, her premise is false. She is not using the laws of mind correctly. Her security depends upon her knowledge of the interaction of the conscious and subconscious mind and its application. For example, a woman will never lack for wealth or health if she applies the techniques outlined in the respective chapters of this book. Her wealth can come to her independent of her husband, father, or anyone else. A woman is not dependent on her husband for health, peace, joy, inspiration, guidance, love, wealth, security, happiness, or anything in the world. Her security and peace of mind come from her knowledge of the inner powers within her and from the constant use of the laws of her own mind in a constructive fashion. Now, let me be clear. Murphy gives an example in the passage I just read of a woman. This goes just as much for guys. Murphy mentioned earlier, it's not a true marriage if a man marries a woman for her money, social position, or to lift his ego. Whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter. The point that Murphy is trying to get at is that we have a tremendous amount of imaginative say on how we view our life. As I said last video, imagination and subconscious, imaginative and subconsciously, these are like synonymous terms from a practical viewpoint. That's what Emile Coué said, and what Murphy is getting at throughout The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. Murphy is saying that ultimately, if we're doing genuine spiritual work and we're looking at ourselves, if we really buy into these law of assumption, law of attraction, law of mind ideas, we have to recognize that ultimately we are not dependent on something external to us to bring in that feeling, that virtue, that quality of health, peace, joy, inspiration, guidance, love, wealth, security, happiness, or anything else. Those qualities that we want, that we think are dependent on that certain person being in our life, or having that certain job, or that certain body. That's all false. Those ultimately, those qualities are within us. And a significant part of this work is recognizing that these qualities, these virtues, these high ideals, as I call them in my book, Money, Your Friend, are all within us. If you feel that you are not loved, it is not because you are not in a relationship. It is because you are not recognizing the love you have within yourself and you are not loving yourself enough. And there are plenty of people who are in a relationship and to outsiders might seem like they have a wonderful, loving relationship, who do not feel love even though they are in a relationship. It ultimately, if we're going to be, a big boy and a big girl and want to take personal responsibility, even you could say radical responsibility when it comes to our relationships, we have to start accepting the fact that it is up to us, in a significant way at least, as to whether we feel loved, whether we feel that sense of peace or joy or fulfillment in our life. This doesn't mean that we can't have preferences. We absolutely can and should have preferences. It doesn't mean if we're sick that we shouldn't take medicine. It just means that we have to have the mental maturity, the emotional maturity, to know that ultimately the buck stops here. And if I feel truly lackful a lot of the time and sad and despondent, ultimately, the one that is going to pull me out of that is not the person I get into a relationship with. It is me, myself. The meaning of marriage is when two people come together based on these high ideals, these virtues, these wonderful qualities like honesty, sincerity, kindness, integrity, health, peace, joy, inspiration, guidance, love, wealth, security, happiness. And they bring out these qualities in each other and recognize how the mutual exchange of these qualities is part of a loving relationship. That's a romantic relationship. And as Murphy said earlier, such a wonderful line. He says, the mutual agreement on a common purpose and plan and the enjoyment of personal freedom bring about that harmonious marriage, that wedded bliss, that sense of oneness where the two become one. Oof. This, my friends, is real SP advice. This isn't manifest them back in 3 days. Do some robotic affirmations. This is about self. If you bring out these wonderful qualities in yourself and you start to value them more and prioritize them more and recognize them more of those qualities will show up in your external world. But we don't go clamoring to get them from the outside. We go within, and then we take appropriate action based on how we feel from within and what we want to cultivate from within. We then take appropriate action that matches those inner qualities in the outer world. If you bring a lot of love to the table, you get love in return. I hope this was helpful. We'll see next video. I might try to pull Marvin in. All right. Again, the description not just the description, but the playlist for this entire course will be in the description. Enjoy.